And I'm
You know what's
I
funny?
gotta try it.
You know how like there's sneakerheads and they wait for like the newest releases
That's
of
what I was just
shoes.
thinking about.
Kyle is waiting for the latest release of like Dunkaroos, cakes, different treats. Kyle has like a whole website he's on every day. He's in line early at like 2 a.m. to get it. Like, man, there's got to be a support group for people like you. There's got to be a whole community you could be a part of. Yo, welcome to the official. I shouldn't have said official, but welcome to the Say What podcast. I am Valerian Riddle.
I'm Kyle Walker.
Yeah, man.
It's Say What Now.
Say what now? Did say what, huh? Say what
It's
now?
cool.
I messed it up. I did. I mean, this episode 1. We're working out kinks.
Right. I leave all this in.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to hear this because when we millionaires and they come back to this episode, they gonna be like, "I was there from the beginning." But yeah, this is the Say What Now podcast. You know what's funny? I was thinking for a second that this was the Say What podcast because I was like, "Ooh, we should hit up Donnell Jones and see if we could use Say What." That "Ooh, say what, say what, say what" as our intro song. See if he'll give us clearance to.
If he owns his stuff, sure.
Well, you know, that might be a sore spot. Let's not even ask.
I've just seen too much stuff recently about people not owning their stuff. That's all I think about now.
Yeah, man, it's real. It's a real thing. People do not own their intellectual property.
Speaking of that, this has nothing to do with what's on the docket, but Aaliyah, are you excited about all her stuff coming out? I know you're a big R&B fan, but I don't know if you're a huge fan of her.
I got a funny story about that. Yes, I'm excited, but what's funny is this album I really like, One in a Million. That came out. I love that album. Funny story about that album, and I want to ask your forgiveness publicly about this. So, I don't know what weekend it was I was staying with you and your mom in Dayton, but I was staying in your sister's room, and I went through her album collection, and One in a Million was in there, and I stole it. All right?
What?
I took it, and nobody ever noticed. Nobody.
Of course they didn't. Who was looking in her album?
But I definitely was like, Brandy don't care about this album no more. And
all you had to do was ask.
So
So you just took the whole thing? You didn't just burn it and put it back?
No, I had the. Did I burn it? Nah, I had the album. It was the album because I was playing. You know, my Malibu only had a CD, so I was playing the CD. Because I love that album, and the reason I love it is because that's how I discovered that album was there, and I think I stole. I wanted now revisionist history. I'm like, maybe I did ask for permission. Maybe I asked you. I don't. But in my mind, I stole it. I think I stole it. We'll just go with I stole it.
I don't remember this.
But it did happen. Yeah, definitely. Like
you're never coming over again. That's all I know. I'm telling Geneva. I'm telling Brandy.
This could stay between us and the listeners. This don't gotta go.
Chuck,
I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of it. I'm just, it happened. I was immature at the time. I was just like, ain't nobody gonna know but me and Jesus. And, the guilt ate at me all these years later. When that album came out, that was the first thing I thought about. So no, it was. It wasn't excitement for me.
I don't even know why I'm laughing at that. That's not even funny. Unbelievable. I mean, I've stolen many albums from family members, so I can't say much.
Might as well. You might as well come out. I stole a D'Angelo album from my little cousin too once back in the day in high school. I was like, you don't know nothing about D'Angelo. You just discussed it. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, this is the Say What Now podcast. Uh, well, we confess crimes that are beyond the statute of limitations. um,
Wait.
but
It depends on when. When was this at my mom's
I'm not
house?
telling all
Because
that.
you've been there
Okay.
within the past 6 years.
But it was before that. It was back in college.
All right.
I
That's
don't know
what you
when
tell.
though, cause
That's what you tell me
I'm not
now.
going. I'm not going. We not. Yeah, cause this is way back. This is when I had the Malibu still. This is when I had Julie. So
Oh right,
yeah,
you did say that.
yeah,
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 yeah.
and you ruined her. But yeah, the Say
Don't
What
do
Now
that.
podcast. Like I said, I'm Kyle Walker, and I'm just excited to be doing this. I've been thinking about doing
Yeah.
podcasts for a while. I know when you started your podcast, like I was a guest on there. By the way,
The
don't know if you
legendary.
know
Oh wait, the
this.
legendary.
The
Oh, sorry. The
legendary.
legendary Riddle Me This podcast still available on outlets everywhere.
um, on SoundCloud, I remember looking it up like much later, and like once you
Yeah,
stopped doing it, that I
yeah.
had the most viewed podcast episode or the most listened to
Did you?
episode was the one that I was on. Just to shout that out. Just just saying.
Oh, look at you, just a celebrity. The whole city get behind you, huh? Detroit,
So
the
I
whole East
mean,
Side.
whole city, whole East Side, West Side. I bring the whole community together. That's what I do.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. It's breaking up a little bit, by the way, but it's fine.
It's breaking up a
It's
lot.
fine now. Yeah,
I'm,
I
I'm
think
like
the
sitting
audio will
here
be fine,
trying.
but the video, yeah,
Yeah.
the audio will be fine, but the video right now is like, it's like, oh
I know.
god,
I just gotta like push through that awkwardness when you're
yeah,
frozen, and I'm just like sitting
yeah.
here like,
Yeah, that's what's happening on
uh-huh.
my end. I'm like, you'll freeze up, and I'm like, yeah, that's right, right. Puppies, yeah, I love them too.
You gonna freeze
Let
talking
me
about
let me
death.
get your, because you've been wanting to start a podcast. Let's give the people a little more background on how this came about, like how we know each other. So like, what your idea for a podcast? What made you, I guess, reach out to me to start one? Let's go. What was your thought process?
Um, I needed a friend who was funny. That was like
Mm.
number one. Is what I was thinking about.
So I'm just a circus monkey to you. That's fine. Okay,
I also
that's
needed
fine.
somebody who's like not as attractive as I am, so that like helps with the
Well, you
crowd population.
definitely
And yeah,
missed
so
that point, but it's fine. It's fine.
um, what else was I looking for? Um, I don't know. You put me on the spot. I think it was also you have like this innate ability to like just be able to keep a conversation going, and like even if it gets awkward, like you still will be able to like ask good questions. Like I was always impressed with that with your other podcasts,
Oh,
because like sometimes I was like, did he come up with these questions, or was this like a script that he just like saw somebody posted on the internet already? But I was like, I think he's doing this. This is just
that's
who
all
he
my
is.
years
So I think that's
romancing the
good.
ladies. You got to push through the awkwardness.
You said
You
what?
heard that? Yeah. I said that was all my
Say
years with
that.
the ladies. You got to be able to push through the
Oh,
awkwardness.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hey, girl. You know what it is.
You got to tell that story at one of these podcasts. What that laugh.
And you were Spice Adams before he was around. Um, also, another thing, I've never told you this because I don't want you to get a big head about it, but you're like a cool dude. Like sometimes I like feel weird because like I feel like I'm really awkward, socially awkward, but like you have like friends that I'm like, that's a cool dude, or those are some cool girls, like those are cool people. How did he become friends with them? Like, and I don't get it sometimes because like I just imagine there's no way that he acts like the way he acts around me with them, because I don't even see
And
how.
I don't. I don't. I don't,
And
Kyle.
I figured, because I'm just like, I don't see how this works.
I don't.
Like,
It's,
I don't get it.
we different with different groups of people. You don't act the way around your mom you do around your friends. It's layers. I'm like
I
Shrek. I'm an onion too.
apparently I do. I was just home over the weekend, and she was saying, "This is why I always had to put my hands on you, because you act like I'm one of your friends, Kyle." So apparently I do a little too much, but we're not going to talk about that today.
Okay,
My childhood trauma.
that's another whole episode in itself. That'll be the 2-hour episode we drop in the Patreon.
There's gonna be so many people writing in like, that really spoke to me, man.
Yeah.
I was going through the same thing.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I think from my end, you asked me a while ago for the record. This idea has been like, we talked about this probably at the beginning, maybe last year. Did last year you reach out to me? Was it 20 or was it this year?
It might have been
this year.
last year.
I don't remember.
I think it was winter. I know that. That's all I know.
But it was definitely a while ago before we like jumped into it. And at the time you asked me, like, I was like in a fog creatively. I didn't have a lot of inspiration. And I'm one of those people, you know me, I'm like, I will roll off of inspiration and feeling motive, which isn't always a good thing, because that stuff, ebbs and flows. But at the time, I was not feeling I was burnt out, like, creatively. I don't know why, but I was just really burnt out at the time. This would be a good segue. I think it was the pandemic, just the doldrums of the pandemic. Like, this thing has, like, been a slog. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you relate to it, but what?
That's another thing about you. You have a good vocabulary. When I saw doldrums in the little document, I was like, oh, that's a typo. I don't know what that is. Doldrums? Like, what is this?
It looked like something that'd be in the Lord of the Rings, like a character, doldrum. Like a Lord of the Ring character. That's what that word looks. But it's a real word,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a slog. Just the monotony of the days. Everything's running together. So I think at the time I was really deep into that. Like, just the same thing every day. Yeah, it was hard to find like motivation all the time to do stuff or to feel like push through all that stuff. So when you first asked me, we had this conversation. I was like, I like the idea. I would love to, but I'm just not in a place to commit to, like, I'll do an episode, but I'm not, like, consistently. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not there right now.
Almost replaced him with a white woman. But
See,
continue.
and that wouldn't be the first time a black man has been replaced by a white woman, but that's a whole nother episode too. That'll be the Black History Month episode.
I can't even think of when that's a thing. When does that happen?
I don't know. I just make it
But
up. I just made it up. Yeah. I'm sure it's happened somewhere. But yeah, at the time I was just not in a place to like really. But then I think you reached out again, and I think what helped. I went to Philly last month. I don't know. The audience doesn't know this, but I was in Philly for a month. And traveling in general for me, like, is a very, like, refreshing thing. So I spent a month in Philly and was kind of bopping around. I'm working remote right now, so I was working still, but I was able to just bop around the city, just kind of explore and being in other cities for some reason always, like, recharges me in a lot of ways. I think it's just how I grew up. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so when you reached out, I had just gotten back from Philly. Or no. I was in Philly, I think, at the time when you asked me, maybe. I think I might have still been in Philly. But at the time, I was just, like, really feeling like, yeah, I'm definitely, like, now I'm like, yeah, I'm really, like, I'm ready to get back into the creative space in general. Not just with this, with some other things. But, yeah. So I'm excited to be here on the Say What Now podcast. Yeah. Yeah. How have you been? But I do want to ask because I'm sure the audience relate to this. We've been in this pandemic for over a year, almost 2 years going on. Almost, it'll probably be 2 years. How have you been making it through this joint? Like, how's been your mind frame been? And
It's been rough, honestly. Initially, I was really excited because I am an introvert. I'm a homebody. I like to just be to myself.
yeah,
Um, so I enjoyed it, but then it was probably after a year, then it really started affecting me, and I was just like, just in a slump, like all the time. I
yeah,
think, um, like it, because like I lost my job because of the pandemic. I was laid off, which I kind of was expecting anyway, because I
hmm
wasn't a great employee. Like I tried, but I just wasn't good at my job, and I can accept that. And
yeah,
um, so once I got laid off, I was just like, bet I'm just about to go full force into this creative world, start making more videos, doing this and that. And then it just like hit me that like it's not as easy as I just wanted it to be. Like I thought I would just be able to like
yeah,
flip that switch and just do that all the time every day, but it was a lot harder.
yeah,
So um, I started counseling, and some of the stuff that you're talking about actually is like things that me and the counselor would go through about like I'm also like a feeler and I want to like feel creative to be creative and
yeah.
just like
Right,
be
right.
inspired by everything that like when I feel good. And he was always like, yeah, but like he always wanted to get me to not be so much of a feeler and think of things more like mechanically is what he would always say. So like just making things happen, just doing these things like setting new rhythms, setting new schedules, doing
Yeah,
stuff like that. Um, and I never quite figured it out, honestly. Um, like I I don't, but I think it's been good wrestling with some of that stuff because then it made me like really figure out why I still am struggling with that stuff.
yeah.
Um, and that's I can go way deeper into all that, but I feel like I'm going away from the question. And I think the pandemic is just I don't know. It's like I guess I'm kind of cool with it. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah. Not,
is we've
I
been
I
in it
get
so
that.
long now.
Yeah, I'm used to it too, and I think there is a part of me that is I do like a lot of aspects of the pandemic. I think the thing I just don't like now is working every day. I know that's weird to say,
Mm,
but working from home every day is just it's not as great as at first it was great, cool. Like I'm like that
right.
first month of the pan was like, yo, this is nice. Even like the first few months was cool, and then after a while it started to be like, all right, okay, this is cool. But you kind of, I think human beings, at least the way we've been conditioned, like you kind of need that separation from your work and your where you live at. Like you kind of got to go out or do something else. You know what I mean? Like just rolling over
Yeah.
and just logging onto a laptop is just not. I feel like a robot now. Yeah, even
Yeah.
more
I
so.
know I know people that like would just get in their car and just like drive around the block a few times and then just come back and log on just to have that
Oh,
feel of
yeah,
like
yeah,
commuting.
yeah. I don't wake up
So,
early enough
yeah,
for that, but yeah,
continue.
I feel
I'm
them.
sorry.
Yeah. No, I actually do. And I think turning 30, I've been up early now. I can't sleep past like 7 now, if that. I don't know. I think it's an age thing now. I can't sleep in anymore, but that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah,
Yeah, you old. That's what it is.
it's fine. What's the old podcast? We like the young old niggas. Like that's like who we are. So like, I accept like I'm old at heart. Like I like being old now. Yeah. Um, But yeah, but anywho, there was an article about this pandemic recently, and it was saying at the rate of how people are getting vaccinated, we might not be out of, well, at least to get everybody fully, not even fully, or get fully at least they said 75% of the population fully vaccinated. At the rate we're vaccinating people right now, it's gonna take like another 7 years. Now, obviously, like there's questions within that, like there's people, because the vaccine right now is a very polarizing issue. So there's even questions like,
Mm-hmm.
is that even a necessity? Is that what's required to get out of this pandemic? Do we actually need 75% of our population to be vaccinated to get out of this? Um, uh, is it possible that we can build up more immunity to this or whatever? But I mean, at the rate the way it's looking right now, we are not handling this thing very well as a country.
At all.
so, so that 7 years seems real plausible. Vaccine or not, whatever you feel about it, we are not. We just have not managed this thing well. And I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I do not have the solutions. Um, but I just don't know, man. But what's weird is that it's like we're in a pandemic, but we're also right now, like especially since the beginning of summer, we transition back into kind of things. We kind of turned the switch back to like, all right, we're back to regular life now. You just got to wear a mask. You know what I mean? You just gotta go everywhere and wear a mask, but you can go anywhere now. It's not a shutdown like we're not on lockdown like we were at the beginning. And so I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
tough to like. I've heard people kind of speculate on if we might get shut down, but I think it's gonna be tough to like shut us back down, because you gave people a taste of freedom again. You know what I mean? Like I don't think people are gonna be cool with
Mm-hmm.
like lockdown. So I don't know,
Yeah.
man. What do you think?
Um, I think also in terms of economy, like I don't think
Oh
they're gonna
right,
try to do that again. Like
yeah, true,
it hit hard, and like
yeah,
we haven't recovered from that. I don't think we will for a while because I mean, like we went into a mini recession after
right,
when everything shut down.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it's 7 years. That just seems like a long time to still have to hear about this stuff. That's really what bothers me. Like
Yeah.
just having a virus around for 7 years. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. We have
Think about it like
plenty
this:
of.
7 years, 7 years ago. That's when we walked at OU. Like when we graduated, that was 7 years ago now. Which actually doesn't seem that long ago to me because of how time moves, how fast time
It
moves.
don't. Yeah.
Um, and then you also got to think about like I said earlier, like now the way this is by no means me advocating for us to go through another 7 years of this, but we're almost in like 2 years in this pandemic since like everything locked down initially. Like we're like a year and a
Yeah.
half, pretty much a year and a half into this thing. And so 7 years honestly doesn't seem too far fetched with how time moves and even how time is moving in this pandemic. So I don't know, and the incompetence of our country too. So, um, 7 years might
I
not.
know, man.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope we can just move out of this thing and this isn't. But I mean, that's what's weird is like sometimes like, and I hate to be this person, but like sometimes when something isn't affecting you directly or you're not seeing it around you, you kind of like lose sight of like what's actually happening, or you kind of think it's not happening. Because I think what's interesting is like I read a lot of articles now about how like hospitals are full and like ICUs are full,
Mhm.
or like the emergency room has to turn people away. But at the same time, well,
Mhm.
and this isn't completely true. I had an uncle who just recently had COVID, but in general, my family hasn't been that affected by COVID. I don't have too many friends that have had COVID or anything, so it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And so I have to like wrestle
Yeah.
with that too sometimes. Like, yo, this is actually still a thing, even though it's not affecting me or maybe the people I'm close to. It's still out there. And so,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Cause like even the stuff with the Delta variant, like I know there was like a big uptick in that when like India was like really going through it like a few
Right.
months ago,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of fizzled out. But like the Delta variant is like here and running rampant in the U.S., but it's still
Right.
like you said, like I don't know anybody personally, and like because of that, that is why like numbers are going back up and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I'm just like I didn't even know they were going up until I went to see my mom and she was watching the news. I was just like I've just been trying to avoid this stuff
Yeah.
because it's
And that's
just
I
I don't know. It's
you made me think
nuts.
of something. I struggle with that too. Is like, cause I think most of our parents love watching the news. That's what they watch
Mm,
most of the day, and most news is bad news. And I wonder, like, but then they'll get it. Like my dad sometimes will get on me, or other older like adult, my aunts and uncles get on me, like, you need to keep up with this stuff. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to be depressed the rest of. I don't want to ruin my day
right,
on this stuff, like at all.
right.
Like so, yeah. There's like a struggle with that. Like I'm not trying to see this bad news. I would much rather just be on Twitter joking around and whatever. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not. I'm. I like to be aware, but at the same time, I feel like I don't live my life like
Yeah, I feel you.
I live a. Yeah, I'm not living a crate. Like I'm not out and just getting coughed on every day. So I don't know. Um, it's weird too though, cause like I'm a huge sports fan, and so like sports is revving up again, and it's like you said, like the numbers you're talking about,
Hmm.
and just how full things are, and then you'll get turned on the TV watching sports, and the stadium is full, in the middle of like
Right.
this like it's like man, what's really going on? What are we doing? But yeah, we should start having people. Well, we will at some point. We're gonna have a email where we have people like write in their COVID experience or just the experience in general, whatever topic. It don't gotta be COVID. Don't
Mm.
depress us. I'm probably not gonna be reading the COVID stuff, but you guys reach out to us about some stories you may have about whatever. But yeah, especially about how you're handling this pandemic, because I don't think it's been easy for anybody, regardless if you've been affected by COVID or not. This has definitely been like a weird time. So
For sure.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of, so I wanna speaking of the doldrums of the pandemic, I think it's led to a lot of bad decision making on behalf of people. This crate challenge.
I
Have
was
you
about
been
to say
seeing?
the crate challenge.
Yeah, that's the
It's
bad decision number one. Have you
it's
participated yet?
hilarious.
Have they had it up in the hood of Detroit? Has it been going on?
Yeah, I've
They had.
been. I was like driving down Mac and saw people on like. I mean, you don't know the streets, but Mac and Bewick is like a notorious street,
Okay.
um, or a notorious corner,
Yeah.
and it was literally just mobs of people out there with these crates. And I just see
Wow.
this one white dude in the middle of them, and he was about to walk, and they all like hyping him up, and I'm like, dude, he about to break his neck.
Man. Man. Yeah.
But
This.
that's what I also think is stupid. Is like Tasha showed me this video of this nurse who was just like going off on people on social media about how we got a pandemic going on. We got people
Right.
that are really sick, even
Yeah.
outside of the pandemic,
Yeah.
and y'all want to walk up crates. So now
Man.
I got to deal with you in the emergency room. And she was just like, I'm turning you away if you come to me. Like,
And
I don't
they don't get
care.
insurance. Like I don't like
Right.
to
And that's what she
judge
was
people,
saying.
but the people I've seen, I'm like, they don't get health insurance. They don't. They don't. This is all bad. This is all bad. Man. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Uh,
is.
you
Like,
think you could?
I would imagine, like, I know if I don't have insurance, I'm gonna be thinking in that mind that I don't
Yeah.
have insurance. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm not about to do this or that. But like some people, that's just their life. They just don't have insurance, and it's just
Man.
whatever. But then I guarantee you. I mean, I hate this, but it's like the same as when the pandemic hit. Everybody was stuck at home. Everybody was like, 9 months from now, such and such gonna have a baby, or somebody gonna be pregnant. It's gonna be a whole bunch of babies, and that was true. It happened. I know
Yeah,
a lot
right.
of my friends had kids during the pandemic, but
Mm.
also I feel like in like 10 years, it's going to be a lot of niggas limping because they didn't get proper medical treatment after they fell off the crate. Because it
That
needed
femur
meal
never
rate.
set
And now
back
they got to
in where it was
limp for the
supposed
rest of
to.
their life. Right. I was like, what happened to you? Like, yeah, it's an old football
uh,
injury. You know you fell
uh,
off a milk crate.
hey, you
It's
think you
going
could
to
make it
happen.
up and back down? You think you could make it through?
My pride tells me I can, but I'm not going to try it.
I think I
Like,
could. I definitely think I could.
well, I
I
know you
do.
do. You have always been overly confident in your athletic abilities.
I definitely
Are
do. I
you?
like yeah. These are not nimble people
Nah,
I've been seeing in these
yeah.
videos.
Are you gonna try it though?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not at
I
this age. Not at
mean,
30. Let me reach wrong at
I was
this
about to
age
say,
and I got a
good.
back pain for the next 4 days. I can't imagine falling 10 feet in the air on the ground. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll be done for a while.
And
I'm good.
and
I'm good on it.
you're a little thicker than you used to be, so there's that too.
What? Don't do that. Not on the first episode. Not on the first episode.
All right,
I'm
I'll save
laughing
that
now.
for
I'm
10.
laughing. Now I'm laughing about the story you told me when you went to his wedding. About
You can't name drop. How you gonna name drop? I'm gonna
sorry.
cut that out
You are okay. My
at
bad.
Bleep's name.
Yeah, bleep the name. Bleep the name. Yeah. It'll be funny bleeping the name. I want to bleep stuff in general because I feel like it adds more intrigue in general to the audience. Like who was that about? You know, the man goes even
Right.
crazier. Um, you're mean. You are. You're mean. But yeah,
Yeah.
man. So anywho, yeah. So if you're doing the crate challenge, I hope you have insurance, and I hope you have money to pay like after that, because insurance doesn't even cover everything. So I hope you get that like
Don't
three
cover
thousand. You're
everything.
gonna need probably more than that. Who knows?
Especially if
I
y'all
just
going to the ER.
hmm
That's rough.
I just learned like a COVID stay in the ICU is like 40,000.
What?
Yeah.
Is
Like
that I mean, that's like
mhm.
all together, like including what insurance would pay?
That's what I don't know if I didn't get, but I saw people
Oh,
have had like, 5-digit medical
dang.
bills. I'd be
That
like, look, let me work for y'all for a few years for free, and that labor pay off these
you
bills, this COVID bill, cause it's no
you
way.
washing dishes in the cafeteria.
Yeah, whatever y'all need me to do, y'all need me. I'll work in the morgue. I'll gurney people down there, whatever. Just whatever y'all need. Just cause I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna have that 40 for you. I won't,
You
man.
washing bedpans? Would you
All
wash
types of
bedpans?
whatever, whatever. I'll wipe butts if they need me to, whatever.
They already
Yeah.
got nurses for that. You gotta
Oh,
get a certificate just to wipe butts.
wow,
That
man.
ain't something that's like you just
So
walk
fine,
in and
I'll be a
do.
janitor. That's fine. I'll be a janitor. That's, I'll turn the rooms over or whatever, clean the rooms out, sterilize them for the next people.
Yeah, that alone, the money alone is what would motivates me to be healthy. I don't
Yeah,
necessarily care about. I mean, I don't want to be fat either, but like
food be good.
it's good. But I also kind of like working out, so I've
Yeah,
found some stuff that I like to do, especially in pandemic. Like I've worked out
right.
a lot more
Biking,
than I
right? You
ever
been
have
biking
before.
still?
Yeah, not
That's
as
good.
much. Um, I've been in physical therapy for like all kind of
I
stuff
remember you told
because
me
uh,
that you.
I'm getting old.
Is
My
everybody there
sciatic
old
nerve,
except you though?
mostly. Funny story about that. So I've been in it for like months, and it was probably like month two I was there, and it was like this younger dude there.
You
He
get
was like
excited.
very athletic. He like
Uh-huh.
came in while I was in the middle of like doing a workout that they had me doing,
Yeah.
and he was just like, "Oh." And I overhear him talking to my trainer, and he's like, "Yeah, oh, I see you got him doing the easy stuff." And she was like, "Well, not everybody is as an elite athlete as you are." And I'm like, "Oh, dang." And she was like, "I gotta like make sure he wants to come back." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I see how it is." And then I like my pride kicked in, so I've like heard him ask to like do more workouts some days, and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, why you making it easy on me? Let me get some extra stuff too." She was like, "Oh, really? You sure, Kyle? Can you handle that?" But yes, it is mostly old people. I
That's
always feel
fine.
like I have to up my game when he comes in because he's like on a basketball team or something, and I don't know what injury he had, but we have to do some of the same stuff, but he does
Yeah.
like 10 times more than I do,
Oh,
and I just
that's
have to
fine.
accept that. I know I'm not athletic. That's
It's okay.
that's that's well,
It's
everybody
okay.
knows that.
I need to get back on it athletically. That's one I fell off like physically in this pandemic. Most people talk about working out. That wasn't what I was doing over this pandemic, this panoramic. Not working out. I was not hitting the gym. I gotta get it back. But I see it though. When I look in the mirror with my shirt off, I'm like, it's there. It's still there. I just gotta turn it back on. It's still there, bruh. It's not all the way gone. Like it ain't like I ain't completely let. It's just I gotta flip the switch,
You just
man.
you just added a sugar coating. That's it. I got you. I got you. It's
Speaking
just
of
a little bit
sugar,
of icing.
so let me ask you, Kyle. We should do a segment where we have Kyle's dessert of the week. We need to.
I was already thinking about as soon as this is over, I'm going to eat a Pop Tart, like a wild berry Pop Tart specifically. I can't wait.
So
I
we get.
tried. They got some Fruit Loop Pop Tarts, and I bought some yesterday.
Wait,
It's disgusting though.
I gotta get
It's
an audience
nasty.
some background. So let me tell them a story. So I saw Kyle in April. I was in Detroit in April. I stayed the night at his house, and that Saturday night, it was a
It's
Saturday night. We were up chopping it up, and Kyle just started pulling out all these random snacks that I've never seen. Most people eat like Reese's or like Twix, Snickers. They like maybe like candy. They might like gummy bears, maybe Twizzlers, whatever. Kyle finds like the
so you
most
just naming
like
all yours.
pretty
So
much
you
because
just
that's all the
naming all
desserts I
yours.
cakes. Okay,
Anything a normal person would eat is stuff that Blair and Riddle would eat.
pretty much. So
What
Kyle.
random did I pull out? I don't
No, hold on.
remember
Let me
this.
let me let me set the story up. So Kyle earlier in that day, Kyle takes us to this bakery that was really good. They had good stuff. They had like red
It's
velvet
really
cake,
good.
all that chocolate cake, all types of stuff. It's really good bake. What's the name of it? Dang, I was gonna say we get this audience something to look forward to when they go to Detroit. I
I
forget the name, but anyway,
I forget. I
it's really
haven't been
good.
there since that day. For the
Oh
record,
wow, okay, wow, that's growth. Anyway, so Kyle, we get all these different like dessert treats and everything like that, and then that night, okay, we're like, I'm eating like a little bit of something. I don't like eating too much like cakes in terms of sweets. I'll eat like gummy candy, but I won't eat too much cake. But Kyle is telling me about all these random snacks that he just keeps finding. Like I don't even remember, but it'd be like say like there's regular like say a regular cereal or regular like type of like cake, like a Twinkie or something, Cal will find like some random flavor of that dessert, and it's like, bruh, what are you? What are you should have started like a YouTube channel, like with like your random desserts findings, because this
They're
is stuff.
not that random though.
This is stuff
It's
that I
just
don't
you
even
don't know about.
All
Them.
right, what's wild berry Pop Tarts? I've never heard of that flavor for Pop Tart.
That's my favorite. I've been
I
eating
thought
that
it
for
was
decades.
just like strawberry, cherry.
Mm,
Uh,
those are whack. Wild
what
berry
else?
all the way.
And then you said another something, another dessert, wild berry Pop Tart.
I said Fruit Loop Pop Tart.
See, who would think? This is my point, guys. This is the point I'm trying to make.
But it's not
Who
random.
would think
though.
of a
It's
Fruit
like,
Loop Pop Tart? Who would even think to like, oh, I wonder if Walmart got Fruit Loop Pop Tarts? I've been looking for them everywhere. That thought doesn't cross my mind, and I'm sure most people who listen to this will be like, I've never heard. Like, this stuff you just don't know about.
What was the one that you sent me? You sent me a picture or something.
Oh man.
Oh, it was like an Oreo flavor Oreo. And I'm just like, yo, what? Like, that's crazy. It's so meta.
You added to you. Did you have it yet? How is it?
I haven't
you
had
a-
it. Oh,
we get-
no. That's what it was. I had strawberry donut Oreos. That's what it was.
See,
And they're delicious.
see. I'm not crazy, guys. This is stuff. Kyle finds the most random of desserts. Who would think they're combining a strawberry donut with an Oreo? Don't that sound like
But
diabetes?
you act like I made it though. Just because I bought it and ate it and enjoyed it doesn't mean I came up with the idea. I'm not that creative. I wish I was.
Oh my god!
I'd be a billionaire if I was that creative.
Yeah, Kyle is a niche dessert connoisseur, I guess. Very niche desserts, like
It's true.
Not
I
the
did have
usual.
Fruit Loop cake. That's delicious.
you said fruitcake.
Fruit Loop cake. That's
See?
it's really good. What else did I have? Oh, that same day, I think I was telling you, because he was like in tears laughing at me. Just because
Yeah.
I was talking about these baked goods. I like baked goods. I
Right,
can't help it.
right.
But
Yeah.
my mom was like concerned that I'm going to have diabetes. Because I bought all this stuff when I was with her. And they
As
were
she
like,
should
they
be.
had pies on sale. So I bought 4 of them naturally. And
Naturally, by four.
and she's like, Kyle, you don't need to have dessert every night. And I'm like, speaks for yourself, Janita. Like, I work out. I'll be all right. And then in that same trip, I bought some Dunkaroos. Do you remember Dunkaroos?
I know the
They were
name, but
like-
I don't.
They were
let
like
me-
the
I'm gonna
little
Google
hard
what the-
cookies. They were
I'm
like
gonna-
animal crackers almost, but you dipped them in like this icing.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
So they had a limited edition Dunkaroos sugar cookies. So I bought a pack of those. And on our way out, then I saw
So they
the
not only
strawberry-
they not just Dunkaroos, it's sugar cookie flavored Dunkaroos, pretty much.
right.
Oh my gosh.
It was like Pillsbury cookies, but they were limited edition Dunkaroos. And just like they were Oreos, but they were a limited edition strawberry donut Oreo. And I'm
You
like,
know what's
I
funny?
gotta try it.
You know how like there's sneakerheads and they wait for like the newest releases.
That's
of
what I was
shoes.
just thinking about. Too.
Kyle is waiting for the latest release of like Dunkaroos, cakes, different treats. Kyle has like a whole website he's on every day. He's in line early at like 2 a.m. to get it. Like, man, there's gotta be a support group for people like you. There's gotta be a whole community you could be a part of.
I was just looking at the Jordan 26s, and I was just like, that seems nice, but I would never wait for that. But I'm like,
You wait for that Dunkaroo strawberry sugar cookie or
So,
whatever.
but they were trash though. They were usually that stuff don't even be good, but I just gotta try it.
Man.
I have waited in line. The longest I've waited in line for donuts or for baked goods was like probably like 2 hours. I waited in line to get.
Was it donuts?
By
Was the baked good
by
donuts?
myself. Like nobody was with me. I was just waiting in line.
That's why I keep that picture alive of you eating it with that plate and with. Oh, I need to. I wish y'all could see this picture. I'm gonna share it on the screen.
I'm glad. I'm so glad that I do the YouTube, so that picture will never be seen. Nobody's gonna see that.
Yeah, they're gonna see it. I'm gonna share it on the little Instagram. I started the profile our Instagram. I'm gonna share it on that so people know the reference because it's perfect. It fits your personality. It fits it. It fits your
I hate
whole.
that picture so much. I really wish there was something I could do to
That
like,
cameraman needs like
to get a way to burn that image from all of your memory, from all of your devices, like because I can't escape it as long as you still have it in your possession.
Oh, and I got it.
I
It's
hate
locked
it.
in. Like I got it. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my point. Like I don't have anything.
That's $1 million
Only thing
picture.
I got
though.
of you is
That
some,
was
like,
perfect time.
You said what?
I said that's $1 million picture. That can't it's perfect timing on that camera shot. Like like those NBA cameraman, they always catch the perfect time. That was like perfect. I don't know how.
But like every time I see it, I try to like recreate that face, and I can't. Like I just can't do it. I don't know how it happened.
Because it was sheer joy. It was the plate. Only the food gave you that joy. That's why you gotta like eat something and then like try to see if you can create it. It was the plate that gave you that joy. I don't know what you had on that plate, but
I hate that picture.
oh man. So
This might be the last episode of the podcast, everybody.
this is one and done. Oh, well,
It's
it was
one and
nice.
done.
I had a good time.
Yeah,
I had a
it
good
was
time.
fun while it lasted.
Yeah, I had a great time. But yeah. So how much where we at on time? Because I don't want us to.
I literally have no idea.
We're good. We can.
I don't know when we started recording.
It's
Whatever.
on my like audio. We're at 40 now. We're good. Though. We're fine. We're good.
Okay.
We're good, guys. So yeah. You want to talk about this Gina Carano story? Is that how you pronounce her name?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. Not this
Okay.
episode.
We'll
can
move
save
on from
one.
that another time.
Let's jump to tired of these 9 to 5s.
Okay.
What made you put that in there?
I put it because, I put it from one because our conversation from a few weeks ago when we were when we were kind of planning this out. But then I also was thinking about it in terms of, context of just the doldrums of this pandemic. Like I think this pandemic has shown me more than anything else. I do hate a desk job. I even used to say that in college. Like I was like, I never want a 9 to 5. And I don't know why I didn't stick to hold myself to that. Life happened, responsibilities happen, but I should have been if there was one thing I should have never wavered on. I should have never wavered on that. Cause I'm just not my personality. It's just, but the thing is, I feel like what feeds it is like everybody else, all my other friends who get 9 to 5s complaining about the same thing. Like they tired of their job. And these are people who get well-paying jobs. They went to school for this type of stuff, and they just yo, I'm over this, man. Like, I don't know if this is a generational thing, if it's just our generation, I think in general, is that them shooting again? You got the gat?
It's the rain.
Oh, I thought that was all they shooting. You pull out the strap, get it. But anyway, I don't know if it's a generational thing where it's just our generation just hates working, which it could be, but I just like it's like yeah, it's like I mean that's part of it, but it ain't the whole thing. But but yeah, man, I it's like this ain't it, man. I like work is just like it's a slog. That's the slog of part of my life right now is work. It's
Hmm.
going in every day and working. And you know, I do it. I try to press through it. I even just recently got a promotion and a raise. They could have kept that
Yeah,
raise,
you
but
told me about that.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. They could have kept that raise though. They really
Black
could
men
have.
getting raises.
Yeah, they could have kept it though. They could have
You
kept it.
you go, Calvin.
But yeah, man, I got to yeah, and I got to. I mean, it was cool. It was nice to like be, I guess, recognized and know you're doing a good job, I guess. But I'm just like, yo, this is not the life I've envisioned for myself ever, like ever. Like I always like that was one thing me and my dad used to butt heads on is because and I respect my dad for because he was he was a 9 to 5. He was like a career person. He always went to get up every day, went to the same job every day. And I respect that on some fronts because it does show a level of commitment and just discipline and all that type of stuff. But on the other hand, I always knew in the back of my head, I was like, I do. If that's what I'm doing in 20, 30 years, I missed something. I missed the train somewhere because it's not the life I want. Like, and that's no disrespect to my dad, but it's just not the life I ever envisioned for myself.
Yeah.
And so I know you're like you quit. Well, you get laid off, but I mean, we talked even before that. You always were kind of like ready to quit or just not feeling the 9 to 5. And so, what's your take on this? Do you think this is a generational thing, or do you think you think we're just over this work life?
I can go on for this for weeks. Just talking about this. I hate it. They're stupid. Nobody should do it. But I do think it somewhat is a generational thing. And I think it's even different being like black. Like,
Yeah,
because I've talked to like just like you. I know you have a lot of older people in your life, and I've talked to older people about this stuff, and they just had a different mentality and like a completely different mindset when it
right.
came to work. But they also like legitimately had fewer opportunities.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
saw fewer opportunities even than they had in their parents.
yeah,
Um, so I think it was like you want it to be like a part of like the white collar because like that's where the money was. So
right.
I think people just chase that for so long and they're just like this is what you do. You go you get married, have you some kids, get a 30-year mortgage, work at your job for 30 years, house is paid off. Now you retire and be bored for the rest of your life. And I was just like, that sounds awful.
Sounds
All of it.
terrible. Oh my, that sounds like I might
Like,
put you might as well put me in jail for 30 years. It's the same thing to me. The
because
same
it's
exact
just
thing.
like, and I think it's where I do think it's generational. It's like, I think technology changed so much. I really think it has to do with technology
Hmm.
to some degree. Like, they didn't have cell phones growing up.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like we kind of grew up with cell phones, but it was still like when we were teenagers, and we didn't
Right.
have
Right.
smartphones until like high school.
Right.
So,
Right.
but I think I always go back to that of like they had like contracts that you were in for like 2 years, you get a new phone, or like a year and get a new phone. Then that window kept getting shorter and shorter because
Right.
like what has been created is just like a group of people that don't want long term anything anymore. Um,
True. Yeah.
and so, like, all the people that I worked with for like the 5 years that I was in corporate America, like, none of them wanted it, but they did it. I can't say none of them. The people that I was close to, they didn't want it. They didn't care about it. They were always like, I can't wait to find something else. And they were always
Yeah.
looking for something else and just being like, I got to get out of here. But then, um, yeah, but some people legit, like, they enjoy that. Like, they enjoy the getting up every day, going and doing this job, and to
Right.
them it might not seem like monotonous. They might
Yeah.
see it as like, oh, you have to do something a little bit different every day. For
Right.
me, I'm like, same crap, different toilet. Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
but it like fits with the goals that they've set up for
Right.
their
And some people like
lives.
the security. I think. Well, and I think to
Yeah.
further your point about, I think a lot of people were security minded, and I think
Hmm.
we're not as security minded in that regard. We're not even gonna have Social Security anyway. So for one,
Yeah,
that's about
I don't think so.
that's about to be out. But I think in general though, that generation was very like, I just want to, like you said, it's not a lot of opportunities, and you just want to secure your future. You know what I mean? You want to be
Yeah.
working the rest of your life or not having something set up after when you retire. I think for us, I don't know. I think we're like you said. I do think we don't. I agree. We don't. We're not as into like long term commitment as much. And we are. That's what's funny. Like when my parents give me career advice in general, it's like y'all don't. It's not doesn't work like that no more. Like at all.
No,
Like this is
it
not how
don't.
the job market is. Like for one, we don't stay on like even anybody my age will advise me like don't stay on a job more than 2 years. Like if you're gonna be working a job, get 2 years and
Right.
then move on. Work another job 2 years and you move on. Whereas versus them, they was always like you want to get in somewhere good and be in there for 30 years. Like that's the goal for them.
Right. Because they
Um,
had pensions. We ain't
right?
got
Yeah,
pensions no more.
yeah,
Like
yeah. It's just
that was a. I have a book. It's really good actually. I need to finish it, but um, it's about like how pensions just were like cut out and like the whole system, how everything was set up, and how it was never really set up for anybody to like succeed. It was
mm,
like, but it's ultimately about like investing, but it all roots in like pensions and like
yeah,
how pensions started to crumble and then it made a rise in like mutual funds and stuff. And yeah, basically like retirement is gonna suck for most people, even like people our age that are like doing everything right or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
Retirement's gonna suck for them. And I'm just
yeah.
like, I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. Like I just can't.
Ye- Yeah, yeah, but I think that's the to that point though. I think that's the advantage our generation has had is that like we've had more ways to create other streams or other incomes that our parents didn't or the generations before them. Because like you said, the smartphone, like you said, you can literally start a YouTube channel. You can be an Instagram influencer. It's just so many different ways now to like make money. There's like a real boom going on right now, like at least in the
Mm-hmm.
creative sphere or whatever in terms of social media and all that stuff has just created so many ways to make money. I still haven't found them yet or they still
Freaking
ain't, but
freaking
but
podcast. Like
yeah. But it's happening. It's happening all around us. It's people who are like 23 years old worth millions now just off of and that would have took their grandfather 30 years to make the amount of money they're making within 2 years or a year. But
yeah.
I do think in general, I just think in general, like the way our country eventually is going to have to reframe how we look at work, what work is, or it's going to be, I think, well, it's going to either just going to have to do it, which I don't know if they're going to willingly do it, but our country's going to willingly do that, or it's going to be like some type of like work revolution or something, labor
Mm.
revolution. Because I think like our generation, I think even the generations that are going to be coming up behind us, like we not about to be like taking any old thing from jobs. Like we're just not. Like
Right.
we're just so we have such a low tolerance for any like inconvenience from a job. Like the stuff that our parents put up front with, we're just like, all right, I'll quit. Like if y'all not going,
Right.
like I'm thinking about that right now. Like I'm working remote right now, but they're talking about they might have us come back in the office like at January. I'm not going back in that office. Like I'm not. There's like no like there's no I don't care what the consequence. I'm not going back into the office. Like there's just nothing. I'm not going back. Like I'm gonna just tell them like, yo, we going to work something else out because I'm not like I've proven for over 2 years now that I can do this job remotely. So there's like
Right.
no reason for me to be in that office. So
For
yeah,
what? Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a little bit of why I did quit my first job was because like I had this old head dude who was just trying to like groom me and all these things how things are just done. This was what you do, and I was just like, that's stupid. Like I'm not about to put myself through all this, and for
yeah,
what? Like I'm not
yeah,
getting anything out of this. Like I have my salary that I make, and that's it. And I'm like, I made great money. Like I'm still thankful that I had that experience because like I wouldn't have the comfort that I have right now, and
yeah.
like have the peace that I have about where I am right now. If
Kyle's a
I didn't
millionaire,
make
guys. Y'all didn't know that. Kyle's a
if I
millionaire.
didn't make so much money in those 5 years.
Word, yeah,
But yeah, I don't know, because I think to the negative, I think our generation does look at a lot of stuff as just like a waste of time, and I'm like,
mm-hmm.
it's not really a waste. Like
Right,
you're
yeah,
getting something from
yeah,
this.
yeah.
You
And
just might
same,
not
yeah,
like it.
yeah, exactly, yeah. I'd echo that too. Like my job hasn't been a waste at all, but it's also like at a point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. But yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely like it hasn't. It's definitely afforded me a lot of things that I've been grateful to be able to do and whatever, you know. So
Right, because
yeah.
you wouldn't have been able to go to get that BBL if you
What?
wasn't
Wait,
getting all this money.
I told you that in confidence. I ain't even healed yet. First of all,
And you said that as
man,
if
you
we
can't
can't all
tell.
see it. We know you sitting on that pamper.
Wait a
Sitting on
minute.
that
Right,
pamper.
wait. Take this out. No. Take this all the way out. No. No, sir. No, sir. Mm-mm. Oh, man. Uh,
um, but yeah. Also, last thing, my last thought on that is we were also groomed in this by our parents to be like, do what makes you happy. Like,
right.
don't do things if
Follow your
you're not happy with
dreams.
what you're doing.
Follow
Yeah,
your
shoot for the
dreams.
moon and you'll land on the
Yeah.
stars. And I'm just like, no. And then we got older and they're like, nah, you gotta do what makes some money.
Yeah.
And we're just like,
The messaging
what?
changed real quick.
Real quick.
Maybe they
But
realized you wasn't gonna be nothing, and then they was all right. You got to get a job then, since you not got no real dreams, you gonna have to just. Hey, so to that point, what's funny is my little brother just graduated high school, and they had a little virtual little graduation thing celebration for him, and this one lady
mm,
was in there to this point. She was like, Christian, I just love you. I think you could be president of the United States. And I was like, nigga, he don't want to be the president. Like, what? Like, why are you telling him that? Like, I get the messaging she's saying, but at the same time, I think it's contradictory because he's getting that messaging like he could be the president, like if he wants to. Like, I think he's talented. He could do whatever he wants to do. But he's getting
mm-hmm.
that messaging, but he's also getting like, I mean, right now he's got this internship, and like my parents are kind of like, "Yo, stay in this internship. This could lead to like a job." And it's like he can't be president if he
Mm-hmm.
working this job. So what is it? Like that's such a confusing time. Like I really like my brother's like always close at heart for me because I feel like he's at a very like critical point now. Like leaving, he's graduated, he's in college now. And so it's like this, the messaging he gets or the things he believes, like can really shape like what how he makes the next few moves. Because like you said, I think our generation did get sold a dream in a lot of ways. Like you could do whatever you want, you can follow your dreams, but we weren't necessarily like I don't know, we weren't nurtured in that. Like the stuff we wanted to do
Right.
wasn't nurtured. I don't think. I think people just kind of like they said that because it sounds good, but I don't think people even know. Because I mean, and this is no disrespect to anybody. Most people don't follow their dreams, so how can they like tell you how to
You
follow their
don't.
dreams? So you know what I mean. So it's weird. It's slippery slope. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually reminds me of I'm not name dropping, but I have a friend who's got a son who like he's about to be a junior in college right now.
Uh-huh.
but he was in his sophomore year and he had this opportunity. They have I think it's his cousin or his uncle, something. He has like a multi-million-dollar company, and his
Oh,
uncle
nice.
was like, "Yo, I want to like take him under my wing and like help him start his own business." And like he
Mm.
can nurture that and grow that while he's in school, be making money, pay for his own school, do all these
Yeah.
things. But the mom was like, no, he needs to focus on school. And like my friend was like, Kyle, what is the reason for somebody going to school? And I was like, to make money one day. He was like, exactly. So why in the world is she trying to stop him from making money right now?
Right.
And
Yeah.
and he's just like, but it's like that is like some of the old head mindset. Like
Yeah.
he is like still kind of old in some ways that he thinks, but he still is more open.
Right.
Cause he's like he would we had that conversation about like athletes and stuff. Like people would get on athletes like why would you skip college to go play in the league? And
Right.
you're just like I'm going to college to have a career to make money. Like why
Right.
would I not just
Ultimately,
skip that and
because
just
people,
go make millions right now? Like
because the
why?
message, yeah, to that point, I was gonna bring up athletes because the point that people always bring up is like nobody can ever take a degree away, and they don't tell you for one it come with $60,000 of debt, so they ain't taking that away either. And then two, it's like this degree alone doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? It's kind of like what you do with it. It's not like it don't matter that you get a degree,
Right.
especially now, not especially in 2021. That degree, especially a bachelor's, don't mean diddly. That's might as well be a high school
Ooh,
diploma. Uh,
it's such a
unless
huge
it's in like a
inflation on
very like
degrees.
you say what?
It's such a huge inflation on degrees.
Right. But that's another thing to your point about athletes. It's like, people will always be like, well, these athletes need to go to school or, that's the whole thing with NCAA, right? Well, now they've opened it up where they can make money, but for the longest it was like, well, the education is the free exchange, and it's like their skill right now. They're like in the 1% of athletic ability. That's their skill. That's their employable skill. They need to be able
Mm-hmm.
to like work that and be trained for that and all that stuff. And also at the same time, athletics isn't always like a good comparison, but in this realm, it's like they have a certain amount of time anyway to maximize their like athletic ability. They're not gonna be like it's
Right.
not gonna be some 40-year thing for them. They got 10, 15 years at most to like
Right.
really maximize like that prime or that
At
window.
40, they're done. Like their work
Yeah,
career is over.
yeah,
Like,
pretty much. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let these people let them cook. But yeah, I do think our country to ultimately like we're headed to like some type of work revolution because like this ain't this 40 hour even like and that's it they've done many like studies on this. Most people don't work 40 hours worth of work. Like I know
mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say this, but I know what I'm doing. It don't take 40 hours to get this done. Like I'm telling you,
Right.
like it just doesn't. And so it's like, what are we doing, man? I think it's just, it's capitalism. Ultimately, it's just all, but I've been telling people, I'm just trying to get the white man's foot off my neck. That's my
Yeah.
dream now in life. That's it. That's it. Just get his foot off my neck. That's all. That's all I want now. I don't want nothing else. I don't care about $1 million. Whatever it takes to get the white man's foot off my neck, I'm willing to. I'm willing to do that. So, yeah.
But how,
Shout out
my
to white.
brother? You get one white man's foot off your neck, and it's gonna be another one on the next step, my brother. See, this is why we need to build. We need to be together in the community. Black man
Mm-hmm.
sharing money with black man. That's what we need.
Speak on that, brother. Group economics.
Group economics.
Speak on that. Speak on that.
That's all I got. I think my cousin wants to talk to me about economics, but I'm not sure. He called me and was like, "Yo, I need to talk to you," but I haven't talked to him yet because we keep missing each other when we call each other back. Have you heard? I'm sure you've heard of Boyce Watkins.
Yeah. My
So he
dad
asked
likes.
me.
He's always sending me his videos. Yeah.
It seems like right up your dad's alley, honestly. But he asked me, "Hey, have you heard of Dr. Boyce Watkins?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then immediately after he called me, I was like, "What?" Like what? I don't know exactly what it is gonna be
He
about,
trying to sign
but
you up from
we'll
some
see.
market level. What's that? MLM. He trying to
Multi-level
sign
marketing.
marketing. Yeah.
I don't know
No,
if
I'm playing.
Boyce does that stuff.
No, I don't.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know,
I'm just
but
yeah.
I honestly that is a thought that I have.
No,
Um,
it is. It's some credence to it. We joke, but it is like, especially as black people. I think I've been talking about that. Like, I feel like, I've realized like my 20s taught me independence is so overrated. But that's all we like taught to like strive for is independence. Is like you want to have your own everything, own this, own that. And there is some like it's nice to have that type of stuff, but ultimately it's interdependence that's gonna be like the key. That's how I think now. It's like, yeah, we gotta learn how to be more interdependent, not codependent, not independent, just interdependent. Just you know, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. You know, that type of thing.
I mean, I think there's room for that with ownership too,
Yeah,
because I still think ownership is like still like one of the most important things.
yeah,
Um, but I think yeah, not solely doing it out of competition though, like
that,
knowing that you want to help somebody else.
yeah, yeah. But also, well, I think not doing that
It
out of competition, but
it
also willing to
froze.
just.
Say that again.
Oh, it did. I said not doing it out of not just doing it at that's part of it too is competition, but also just like being willing to get help. I think people really take a
Mm.
lot of pride right now in doing stuff solo or like, oh, I did all this by
Mm-hmm.
myself. It was just me. I'm self-made, and I just think that's really
Oh, I hate
overrated.
that. I want to go
It's
on a
so
rant about
overrated.
that one day.
It's so overrated, man. It's like it's
It
gonna take
is.
way like a lot of people to get accomplish anything of note or noteworthy. You're gonna need a team of people,
Right.
and so yeah,
That
it's
yeah, this self-made stuff such a lie. Nobody's
it
self-made.
is nobody, not near in person, not nary a person. But yeah, uh, where we at with we we went over our little so we can. What do you want to wrap this up? The first episode. We'll start
Yeah, yeah,
winding
yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well,
We
let me real quick. Have you seen the Boys series, by the way?
the first season. That's it. Not
Bruh,
not
it's
everything.
it's so great, man. Cause I don't watch a lot of TV, so anytime something grabs me, it grabs me. So this is I know what happened. I was on Twitter. I found it off Twitter because somebody like shared a video of the series on Twitter, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"What's this?" And I was like, "This looks different." And I found out what series it was, and so I started watching it. And it like that's another thing. It takes me if something is slow or it's too slow, I'm out. I can't. If it's but this wasn't that. It's not slow. It came like the
Yeah,
action
it
started right
start
off jump.
off
Yeah,
like that.
it started off.
That first 30 seconds. I'm just like,
Yeah, I was like,
what?
yeah,
Like what?
yeah. It's like, oh, this is gonna be different. And so I binged it all weekend, all over this weekend, and just watched that. But it's
First
great.
and second season.
First and second, I'm done. I finished the second
Dang.
this morning. Yeah, yep.
Oh, so you just recently watched it,
Yeah,
like
just over this
all of
week.
it? Okay.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing over this
All
whole
right.
weekend, man. It was great.
'Cause
If you guys haven't checked that out, The Boys, it's dope. It's on Amazon Prime.
it is good.
Yeah,
Just so
it's
y'all know, the premise is they're superheroes, but they're like terrible people. This is essentially the
yeah.
premise of it.
That is
They
exactly the premise.
they
Yeah,
save the world, but individually they are not good people.
they're not good people at all. But
Not
it's
not like what the Marvel tries to teach you.
no, but I like that. I like how they because
Yeah,
I don't like
it
cookie
is.
cutter. That's why I like the Dark Knight so much. I don't like That's why I don't think I ever liked too many Marvel movies because they were too. It was kind of predictable. It was gonna be the good guys were gonna win all that stuff. But I like more like a little, what
Have you watched all of them?
the Marvels.
Yeah.
I haven't actually. I think
Okay.
I've bounced around. I haven't seen all of them. Yeah, I haven't seen all of
That
them.
towards the end of the series, or like that whole everything was built up to like that final climactic movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and they're still making other stuff, but there was one where like they lost like straight up, and you're
Are you
just
talking
like,
about
out, like my
End
jaw
Game?
dropped because I just didn't
Talking about
expect it.
you talking about
Huh?
Infinity War?
I think it was Endgame.
Well, I've
Wait,
seen
what's the
those.
last one?
I've seen
I
End
don't know
Game is
what
the
the
last
last
one
one
where they
is.
win. When they win and Tony Stark go like die. That's End Game.
Oh,
I've seen
okay.
those. I've
Well,
seen the
yeah, maybe
Avengers.
it's Infinity War.
Yeah,
Okay.
Infinity War. I've
But
seen
yeah,
that where
that
they
one, I
lose.
was just like, oh,
Yeah,
they
that
really
was good.
lost. I
That was a good
just
one.
didn't expect that.
Thanos. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
And that
that
was
one.
like why I liked it, because he was just beating them down the whole movie.
Yeah, I like a good villain. That's why I like the Dark Knight so much. I like a good, like a solid villain. I need a good villain to like.
Mm.
I don't. Yeah, and that's the boys is good. I think the other thing I like about the boys is like there really is no good guys, for real, for real.
Right.
There really isn't.
Right.
Like, cause even
They're
the
just all bad.
yeah, everybody's like kind of yeah. There's really no like oh I should cheer. I mean, there's some people who are
Besides,
better than
like, Starfire or whatever the girl's name
Star.
is.
Yeah, she's like the most innocent, but even she has some.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, still. But yeah, nobody's like completely like innocent. Or that's what I think. Another thing I like about it. But yeah, check that out. You got any series you've been or binging lately or?
Yeah. Y'all go ahead and check out Yu Yu Hakusho, Ghost Detective.
It's called Ghost
It'll blow your
Detective.
mind.
It's called Ghost
Actually,
Detective.
it might not be Ghosted. I said Yu Yu Hakusho.
You
It's
how
a
you spell that?
you're not gonna watch it.
I
Trust me.
probably won't, but how you spell it?
It is YU
Okay.
Hakusho. You know I
Okay.
can't spell. Like
Oh
what?
yeah, I'll sound it out for myself. It's fine.
It's
Yeah.
nah. It's an anime.
What's it?
Um,
It's on Netflix or?
it's on Hulu.
Okay.
I started watching it. I used to watch it as a kid, and
Mhm.
then I like saw it on Hulu and started watching it again, and I'm like in love all over again. Like
Okay.
this was. I think it's better than Dragon Ball Z, which
I,
is a lot of people's favorite,
yeah.
especially in the black community.
I've never seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z. I don't think. I might have seen one maybe as a kid, but I never watched
What?
Dragon Ball Z. You know what
That's
my
what
cartoons were
hurts.
though was wrestling. Wrestling was my like
Ugh.
cartoon. I love wrestling. That was my like thing growing as a kid. I
do
didn't watch
you
lot of cartoons or series.
do you know that uh my sister's husband, he still watch wrestling like faithfully every week. Like that's his thing.
I know a few people
Like
like that. I know a few
like
people.
he
Yeah.
like he and his friends have like WrestleMania parties and like get together, drink,
It's not as good to me
eat chicken
anymore.
wings.
I can't watch. Yeah, it's not that good anymore. Like I stopped watching it probably college, like freshman year. I kind of was like, all right, this isn't. It sucks now, pretty much.
After
It
the Rock
does.
left.
Like if anything, I'll go on YouTube and watch old clips from like late '90s, early 2000s. If anything, if I'm gonna watch wrestling, I'm gonna rewatch old stuff and be like, dang, I forgot that happened, or oh, I forgot about.
I I never got into wrestling. I
Yeah,
always thought it was dumb.
You missed out on
As
the Stone
as a
Cold era.
kid, as a
Uh,
kid, I thought it was dumb. I was like, this is so fake. Like, why do people like this? I can't get into it.
that made me think. So Tolu sent me he sent me a video, a wrestling video on Instagram or Twitter recently, and I was clowning him. I was clowning with him because I was like, because in the video looked fake now to me. I was like, I see how fake it is now. But I joked with him. I was like, at 9 or 10, you couldn't tell me he was out cold. He wasn't out cold. You couldn't tell me they wasn't out. But them dudes like they tough though. Wrestlers are really tough because that ring
They
is hard.
are.
That ring is super hard. I didn't know it was as hard as it was till recent. Till I like saw a documentary and they were touching like they were kind of like pounding it. I was like, oh, that's like it's like falling on like basically like a carpeted hardwood floor. That's like
Ooh,
the equivalent. Yeah, yeah. They're taking huge. They call them bumps in the wrestling world, but they're taking when they fall from the rope and all that. It's rough. Yeah. Um.
dang. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how they do. I know there's a technique to how they do it, but it's still a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I knew they were tough when I saw Brock Lesnar leave the WWE or F or whatever, go
And
into
do US
UFC,
and
become a
win.
champion,
Yeah.
just ran it, and then
Yeah.
came back to wrestling.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, he ain't no joke.
Yeah.
Like, he
And
was slaughtering cats.
I was watching this documentary, The Undertaker. Well, that was the documentary where I found out, or I was learning how because he talked about how many surgeries he's had. But he trains MMA though too. Like, and you could tell like how he wrestles. He does like a lot of boxing incorporated into his style. But he said like if MMA was big when he was in his prime, he would have did it. I would love to see the Undertaker in MMA would have been
He's
like,
huge.
yeah, he's 6'10", like 300
Dang.
pounds. Like, yeah, I would have loved to see him because he can box too. So I would love to see how like combine that with his wrestling. That would have been interesting. But yeah, yep,
Dang. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that.
yeah,
I don't know. Only person I really knew was The Rock. Like, I knew everybody because my cousins were into it,
right,
but like, I mostly just knew The Rock.
yeah. No, it was a golden era, late '90s, early 2000s. So
But yeah, as far as shows, I don't know. I've been watching stuff, but nothing that's like, yo, you gotta watch this. Me and Tasha been watching Modern Family. If you haven't watched that, it's hilarious.
are you just getting into it?
I think
I
you
never
would like
watched it. I've heard it's
Huh?
hilarious. I thought you watched it in college. Did you watch it at OU?
I did, but I never
Okay.
finished it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think I got, by the time it got to like season 4, I just kind of lost interest. But
Yeah,
I
I was like, I
always
feel like I
liked it.
remember you watching it back then. Yeah, OU.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, this was nice though. This was really nice.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on social media, Kyle, if they want to, keep up with the pod going forward?
Dang. Why you
You got 2
catch me off
pages.
guard like this?
You do have 2
You said
pages.
what?
I was wondering.
I
You
only
do have
use
2
one of
pages.
them though.
Is
I
it
don't
the
use
Tide one? You don't use Dead Man Walking no
Yeah.
more, do you?
No, but you keep
Okay.
like sending me
Using
stuff on that. I'm just
I
like,
did today too. That's why I thought about it. I was like,
Did
I'll
you?
send that to the wrong page.
Um, Yeah, you can find me on Too Often Dreamer. That's more of a branding thing. I'm still trying to figure out like how all that's gonna play out. I have to have some success first to see how it plays out, but that's the beginning of it. Because I think like if we do grow things, I wasn't thinking of doing a podcast when I started all that, but like if things grow to a certain point, I would like to have people around, have a team and stuff. And I don't really want my name on that stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
I get you.
like I don't want it to be like Kyle and Friends. Oh, Working Moms. I've been watching a lot of stuff that's like has like female leads. I don't know. It's just been interesting to me. Working Moms is funny.
What's that on?
Netflix.
Okay.
I'm actually on Netflix to see what stuff that I recently watched. Atypical is a good show if you've ever heard of that. It's
I've
also on
heard a lot of people
Netflix.
bigging up this clickbait show. I haven't watched it, but a lot of people are talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tasha actually just brought that up and asked, "Can we start watching that?" And I was like, "I guess."
Oh, you guys watch shows together? Oh.
Yeah, we do. We have our like separate shows, and then we'll have a show that we watch together. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying before. Oh, Too Often Dreamer. check out YouTube. I mean, if you're watching this, you're already on the YouTube channel. But subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications if you want to find out more of what's coming next on Montot. And that's it.
Yay.
Too often Dreamer on Twitter that I don't use. I only respond to Valerian and just troll him.
You pretty much, that's literally all you do. It'll be a random tweet that I forgot about. And I'm like, why are you here? Get out of here.
Because my feed is like such a small group of people that like I always see yours. Yours is just flooding on mine.
Man.
I don't know when you posted it or when you said it, whatever. It's always something ridiculous.
What are you doing here? Get out of Twitter. But
I don't understand Twitter at all.
Yeah, I love it. I fell in love with Twitter over the pandemic, I think. Or maybe even before that. But yeah, I love Twitter now. But I'm Valerian Riddle everywhere. You can find me on Instagram, Valerian Riddle, VALERINRIDDLE. You can follow me. And we have a page for this podcast as well that will probably be posting stuff as well. You can follow that. It's Say What.
Oh, you started it?
Yeah,
I didn't know
just
that.
took my old. Yeah, I did that earlier today. I just took my old Riddle Me This pod page that I never used and just changed the name to Say What Now Pod. So you can follow that page on Instagram, Say What Now Pod. It'll have like clips and things and all types of stuff. Keep you up to date. But yeah, man, I'm excited. This was good.
This was fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, totally.
Great.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, yeah, dude. Like, I can't wait. Like, yeah. Totes.
Oh, you know what we forgot?
But,
We'll have to do that for the next episode.
What
we didn't do how we're supposed to start off each episode. I think I kind of like skipped it because the video was skipping a lot and it wouldn't have worked out well.
We were figuring out our technical aspects of this today. Yeah, but I got
Hopefully
it down
that
now.
gets
Now
better,
I know
y'all.
what's up, what's what with everything. So, yeah.
All right, I got you. I don't know any of these songs. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
You know what's happening?
I don't know what's happening. I'm scared.
All right.
I'm really scared.
All right.
Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Next is this next episode or no?
No.
It's Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Why can't I think it? So just chill to the next episode. What's the name of the
song? I'm pretty sure it's Nothing But a G Thing.
Yeah, it is Nothing But a G Thing. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of the song. I was about to say, Let Me Ride, but that's not Let Me Ride. Yeah, Nothing But a G Thing. Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right. Anyway, to fill you guys in, we're going to do a segment where we both beatbox a song and we got to guess what it is because that's something we do randomly when we're on the phone talking in general. So I guess I got to come up with something really quick to end on.
Okay, it's Usher. What is the name of that song? I know the lyrics. Situations will arise when you're chilling with your guys. Everybody talk about it. You know I know it. I just can't think of it.
It's only the greatest song ever. It's low key in my top 5. Every time I hear
You
that
don't
song, it
have
gets
to
better.
call? Is
Yeah,
that
you
the
don't have
name
to
of it?
call. Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
All right.
Every time I hear that song, it gets better and better. I'm like, for real? They
Really?
really did they think? Like, it's aged so great to me now. Like, I love that song more now than I did when it came out in 2001.
Really?
I
That's
love
just
that song.
like, that seems like a random song.
Nah.
Although, when we last talked, you were confessing your dying love for Usher. So, guess
Don't
that
put it
makes
like that.
sense.
Don't just put it all general like that. I was
I mean,
confessing. It wasn't even a confession. I was just bigging up how great Usher's catalog is and how much of a fan I am of early Usher work. But once he
y'all see
dropped "Oh
that?
My God," I kind of phased out. Sorry, Usher.
Oh, oh, oh.
I seen you. It's like, oh
Like,
God.
wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
And he said T Pain ruined music. Anyway, that's a whole nother
Usher said
conversation.
that?
Yeah, he said, or T Pain told a story where he said Usher told him that he ruined music with his auto tune.
What?
Usher, you ruined it with "Oh My God." Anyway, that's a whole nother. Don't get me started.
No. So this is the last thought. I was actually thinking about Usher and like, I think it was like his first song, "My Way." Was that his first song? Like his first big single?
Yeah, your first. Yeah.
And and the fact that like in the lyrics somebody wrote "Little midget, my mind on 7 digits." Like that was the most trash line I've ever heard. Like, but he said it so hard, just like called somebody a midget. Like, who is he
Which would be
talking to?
offensive nowadays.
Right. And I'm like, did Jermaine Dupri write that?
Maybe.
Because he's just heard people call him a midget his whole life. He just was like, I'm gonna get these niggas back. Put this in these lyrics. Usher, we gonna go gold, baby.
These little midgets.
Like that's just funny to me to think of Jermaine Dupri calling people midgets.
I'm looking up who wrote "My Way" actually now. So, check me. Jermaine Usher and Manuel Seal. Maybe Manuel Seal wrote that rap. Probably Jermaine though. Probably Jermaine Dupri wrote that. Yeah.
It didn't
Fun
matter
fact,
who you told me. I'm still gonna keep in my mind it was Jermaine.
Oh man. Well,
My name's Jermaine.
don't start. Well, this has been a great first episode of the Say What Now podcast.
Say what?
Oh, roller coaster of love.
Say what?
Yeah. You was late. You was late.
I was late.
Yeah, you was late.
That's just the delay. It was
Okay.
on time over here.
Okay. Well, catch us again, same time, same place.
All right, bye. This outro is lasting too long. I'm hanging.
It has. Let's go. It's
Well, wait. How
you.
do
Black people don't know how to end phone calls. That's pretty much the same thing that's happening right now. We don't know how to end this.
Is that a thing?
That is a thing. Black people do not
All
know how
right.
to end the phone. All right. Peace.
I'm gonna stop the recording.